Alrighty guys, we're back for some goblins, and this is a Dominaria Alchemy brew. We're gonna go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. Also, I should mention that we usually play standard. That's our go-to, but every now and then we do try out some other formats and try to have some fun with it, and in this deck in particular, it was a suggestion down in the comments. Not this exact deck, but like trying out goblins in alchemy, I mean, right? So how can I pass up goblins, guys, when we get to play Battle Cry Goblin again? One of my favorite cards that unfortunately rotated out. Oh, buddy, are we going to have some fun with this one, huh? What do we got in the deck here? Well, we got 4 Goblin Trapfinders. This is a 1 mana 1/1, and when it dies, you get to seek a creature card with mana value 3 or less. That card perpetually gains haste. This spell costs 2 less to cast, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this creature. What's pretty sweet about this card is if you have a couple of trap finders out on the board and the opponent drops a board wipe or something, then you get a couple goblins into your hand that you can then play out and maybe close out the game because they have haste. Card's actually pretty sweet, isn't it? Got 4 Kumano faces Kakkazan. Even though it has nothing to do with goblins, it's going to be very important for the aggro side of the build, and Etching of Kumano is pretty sweet. And if we do end up seeing any mirror matches, then Etching deals with cards like Trapfinder, for example. 3 Play with Fires, early removal's important, but being able to slap the opponent's face and get that scry in, of course it's got to be in here, right? We got 4 Battle Cry Goblins, of course. This is a 2 mana 2/2. For 1 and a red, goblins you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until the end of turn. And then there's Pack Tactics here. Whenever Battle Cry Goblin attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, create a 1/1 Goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. This is going to help you close out so many games. It's probably the most powerful goblin in here, which also gives it the biggest target on its back as well. The opponents are going to want to remove this immediately. Got 4 Goblin Morale Sergeants. Here's a new one. This is a 2 mana 2/1 with haste and enlist. And whenever it enlists a non-token creature, you may conjure a duplicate of that creature into the top 5 cards of your library at random. The duplicate perpetually gets +1/+0 and gains haste. So I don't know how often we're going to actually want to conjure that duplicate, but I can imagine there's going to be some instances where you might want to enlist this and maybe conjure some duplicate Battle Cry Goblins on top, right? That could be pretty sweet. Got 3 Mephit's Enthusiasm here. Now this could also just be Molten Impact. It really depends. Honestly, whatever you want to play with, but Enthusiasm is uncommon, so that's a good reason to play with Enthusiasm over Impact, which is a rare. But overall, as far as like the alchemy meta goes, I guess I don't know it too much. I just think Enthusiasm's going to do a little bit more and help our goblins swing through for a lot of extra damage. Should probably go over it real quick, right? So it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If excess damage was dealt this way, note that excess damage. Then you get a boon with when you cast your next creature spell, it perpetually gets +X/+0, where X is the noted number. So yeah, it could make your goblins pretty chunky. Like, you could easily give like your Goblin Morale Sergeant a +3/+0 boost as it's swinging in, and that happens to be a lot of extra damage, especially if your opponents can't block it well. So we have 4 Rundvelt Hordemasters, a 2 mana 1/1. Other goblins you control get +1/+1. Whenever Rundvelt Hordemaster or another goblin you control dies, exile the top card of your library. If it's a goblin creature card, you may cast that card until the end of your next turn. So pretty sweet. You're going to hit goblins pretty often. I mean, I guess you're mostly going to hit land and stuff like that, but I think you're still going to hit goblins enough to where that bottom ability is actually going to come in handy. And then Hordemaster is pretty cool with Trap Finder too, since Trap Finder perpetually gives that card that you seek. the sacrifice at the beginning of the end step. So if you seek a Hordemaster and it ends up sacrificing itself, then you automatically get that Hordemaster ability where you exile the top card, and you could hit a Goblin with it, so that's pretty cool. We got 3 Squees, of course. Our Dubious Monarch at 3 mana, 2/2 with haste, and when it attacks, you create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. Helping us get those goblins nice and wide is going to be very important, but then also you can cast this from your graveyard by paying 3 and a red and exiling 4 other cards from your graveyard, which is going to be pretty easy to do overall. You're going to want to do that in the mid to late game right after your opponent wiped the board, and then close out the game with those extra goblins with Squee, right? Got a couple traumatic pranks. This is a 3 mana. Man, I wish this was in standard so bad. I love this card. 3 mana sorcery, gain control of target creature until end of turn, untap that creature, it perpetually gains haste, this creature can't block, and at the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 1 damage to you. It's a pretty terrific card overall, and it can help you close out games or just put some extra pressure on the opponent by getting rid of their best blocker. Then it just deals damage to the opponent every single turn too. Like it's pretty nasty, guys. We got 2 Coalition Constructs. This is a 3 mana 2/2 construct, but when it enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type, so you're going to choose goblins, obviously. Coalition Construct is the chosen type in addition to its other types. Nice. When Coalition Construct enters the battlefield, other creatures you control of the chosen type and creature cards of the type in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. A pretty sweet card, guys, and it can help buff a wide board state or get your hand ready to slam down on the board and like giving your Squee that extra +1/+1. Now it's a 3/3 with haste. That's actually pretty sweet, huh? I'm curious to see how much work this is actually going to put in. So yeah, only a couple of them though. I don't think it would be worth having more of them. On the very top end, we have 3 Goblin Influx Arrays. This card is sweet. 4 mana, enchantment. Goblin spells you cast cost 1 red less to cast. And if it doesn't require a red mana, it costs 1 less to cast. Pretty cool. At the beginning of your end step, conjure a random card from Goblin Influx Array's spellbook into your hand. Now that's where this card gets interesting, as it'll just continuously pump extra goblins into your hand that you can play on the next turn. So keeping your hand nice and stocked as your opponent is sweating and trying to remove all of your goblins, but you just keep getting more goblins. And I'm pretty sure this stacks too, so if you have multiple Goblin Influx Arrays on the board, your goblin spells cost even less. So it's pretty ridiculous, guys. Check out this spellbook. We got Goblin Warchief, Goblin Chieftain, a Skirk Prospector, Brash Taunter, Willy Goblin, Goblin Trashmaster, Ember Hauler, Relic Robber, Fanatical Firebrand, Goblin Arsonist, Reckless Ringleader, Battle Cry Goblin, nice, Beetleback Chief, Goblin Instigator, Legion War Boss. Dude, this spellbook is stacked. Pretty much every turn we're getting something useful to play on the next turn, so pretty powerful card, guys. I don't think it would be worth 4 of them though. Now we do have 24 total land in here. One of them is Crucible of Defiance. I think 24 is going to be the perfect amount for this particular deck, especially when we're going to want to be having enough mana for Battle Cry Goblin's ability too. Honorable mention, guys, Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. I do think it's going to be too slow for this particular deck. It seems a little silly. It's generating goblins and it's so darn powerful. But we're talking speed in this deck, guys. We gotta go fast. And Fable of the Mirrorbreaker doesn't necessarily give us that speed. And then also it doesn't work really well with Rundvelt or Coalition Construct either. So it's just something to think about though. Maybe we do want a couple of these. Maybe we want 4 of them. I personally don't think so. Not in this particular Goblin build at least, right? Okay guys, hopefully I went over the deck well enough. Today's video is going to be an edited video, so I hope that is okay with everybody. It does take a little bit longer to find alchemy games And I'm going to try to get as many matches in as possible and then showcase the best ones. Either way, let's go ahead, get into that first game, and see how we do. Alright, I think this hand is keepable. Nice. It looks pretty good. We got a 1, we got a 2. That's all I need to see, honestly. Get that Trapfinder down. Ooh, I gotta turn down the game. It is loud. Ooh, Battle Cry Goblin. Okay, let's get that down. Of course, doing it in main phase 2 would be much better practice. Alright, Rundvelt actually affects the combat here, so let's do it. Hitting hard early on. The opponent's probably going to drop that Divine Purge as soon as they can here. Not that turn, though. Goblin Influx Array is now open. We're going to start with a swing. We're going to go buff. The opponent needs something here. We're going to buff again. This is a huge swing, guys. They're going to seek knowledge. I hope they have something here. Okay, well, that's the GG then, I guess. Well, what a first match, guys. Oh my goodness, that was disgusting. The opponent only played Seek New Knowledge, so yeah. You can see okay, we go first here. I don't really like this hand because there's no guarantee that we're going to draw that second mana. This is much better. We'll send a Traumatic Prank. There's no guarantee that we're going to want to use both of those in a game anyways, so... Excuse me, guys. Shattered Sanctum over there. So let's start with the Goblin Morale Sergeant to get some extra early damage here. However, there is something to be said about going Battle Cry Goblin first, and then enlisting the Morale Sergeant next turn. Okay, what the crap are you? Target creature card in your graveyard perpetually becomes an artifact. You may cast that card this turn. Huh. That's interesting. I think I'll take that. It's a really good blocker for this deck. And having it do extra damage every turn from the Traumatic Prank seems pretty decent overall. Like, what are we gonna do? Run our Squee into it or something like that, you know? So, Welcoming Vampire, nice. Another good blocker for this deck. Let's get that Squee down. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna enlist. And we're gonna go ahead and conjure that Squee into the top 5 cards, because an extra Squee could come in handy. And they actually accept that trade too. That's pretty insane. I guess they could always make it an artifact and then cast it back. But we didn't lose our Squee, so that's important. Okay, and you look like an amazing blocker as well. That's pretty scary business, guys. Let's get everything down, as it doesn't look like this is the type of deck that's going to, yeah, this doesn't look like the type of deck that's going to want to lose its creatures to a board wipe. So, I think running everything down, going wide with our Battle Cry Goblins is a good bet. Looks like they're going to recast the Welcoming Vampire, and then maybe... So it's just like an artifact chilling over here. It can't block or anything. Oh, it has the abilities though. Oh, that's so cool. That's really neat, actually. Mountain Trapfinder. Let's go ahead and give Trapfinder haste. Or do I want to just swing with these and then buff the things twice? How do I want to do this, guys? I think it's better to swing, get a couple 1/1s, 3 1/1s to be exact, and then buff everything after the fact, right? So there, Forced to block here. This is a lot of damage going through. That's just victory, isn't it? Yeah. GG opponent. Well, Goblins doing a thing. We definitely had some interesting first games here. I don't know if I went over it in the first match, but yeah, I played some test matches and it went really well, so I'm not surprised at all by these first games. All right, we go first again. Very nice. It's an all right hand. We'll try it. Hopefully we draw more goblins, but overall, like, this is pretty solid. Worst comes to worst, yeah, it looks like we can actually use that early removal from Play With Fire, so if we wanted to, of course. This is also just like a pretty good trade if they end up... I'm pretty sure they take the 1 damage here. I'd be shocked if they actually trade with Epic here. Oh, nice. Okay, well, let's see what we hit then off of the Trapfinder's ability, and this is something we could play next turn. So, yeah, I'm going to hold that back and keep Play With Fire open. So, you see, the thing is, it sacrifices at the beginning of our end step, so... Play With Fire, their face is probably the best bet, I'd say. I want that Scry. Let's see what we can find. Another Trapfinder? Sure, why not? It's not terrible. Let's get that Construct down and give both of those Trapfinders an additional +1. The Construct can be a little bit slow, but it could be pretty powerful, and it's much better when we have a wide horde state, but overall, this isn't bad. Deadly Dispute. It's been a second. Drop a mountain. They have that treasure open over there too. Yep, Oni Cult is going to hit the board this turn, and they do, in fact, have the blood token here. Almost swung in. I guess they don't want their 1/1 Construct? Yeah, they want to do this on their turn to get the 1/1 Construct. Okay, so another mountain. That's not terrific, honestly. We do have the Traumatic Prank. Let's go ahead and get this down. It sacrifices itself. I guess Traumatic Prank's fine. They can't sacrifice the Epic here, because they have to sacrifice an artifact to the Oni Cult, but they could always sacrifice it to like a Deadly Dispute or something. Either way, this is pretty fine. It's a decent swing, and Epicure's going to do that extra damage every turn. Trapfinder's going to find us another Goblin. A Morale Sergeant. Okay. That's interesting. Do we want to conjure like a Construct on top? I mean, Battle Cry Goblin's obviously much, much better to conjure, but like... Or to get off of a Trapfinder. But yeah, this is okay. We're going to start falling behind this. Okay, so they did end up using the Deadly Dispute on the Epicure, so that was inevitable for anything that we would have dropped the Traumatic Prank on. They don't want to take that damage every turn. Woo, we are definitely going to start falling behind this life game. Like, we need a much, much better hand than what we're seeing here. And I used that Play With Fire early. That could have been really bad. Oh, Battle Cry Goblin. That's really good. Nice. The order of things here. What are the order of things? So, like, we could go Battle Cry Goblin and then Trapfinder, give it all haste and swing. I like that more than the Morale Sergeant because we get an extra 1/1 off of the Battle Cry Goblin. And like, this is a pretty strong swing, so they might end up double blocking with Construct, gaining 2. They have the blood. Oh, they're gonna... Okay. Okay, that means we get to keep Battle Cry Goblin, so what we need to expect here is removal in hand, and they are gaining enough to be safe this turn. Oh, you know what we gotta watch out for over here in Alchemy? Meat Hook still exists. Oh no, guys, Meat Hook still exists over here. Oh, what a mess. Okay, it's just an Infernal Grasp. I mean, we knew, like I said, we expected removal for the Battle Cry Goblin since they didn't double block it. It's way too powerful to keep on the board. Okay, they get a 1-1. We're taking some damage here. They're back up to 12. We're going to need a sweet draw. I would expect them... Okay. Huh. I'm going to decline, because there's a lot we could draw that might be able to wrap this up. Yeah, Mountain's not going to do it, though, huh? The Coalition Construct might be a good enlist target here. The Trapfinder's not great, but they don't know what's in hand. I guess we'll just do this. And getting that construct randomly plugged into the top 5 seems like it could be pretty good. End up taking 4 because at this point they're gaining so much life that it's kind of like, why not, you know what I mean? We'll see. The Mountain wasn't the best draw, and we're definitely falling behind this life gain. It feels like this entire match was just a little bit too slow. Now they have 2 more on the Molten Impact there. So this could be pretty bad. They have the Blood Token open. Nope, they're going to create a 1-1. Makes more sense to do it that way, for sure. We're down to 4, and this one's going to be the opponent's, guys. As we're about to go down to 3 here, we're going to just decline again and take that extra damage as well. Another Traumatic Prank. Hey, that's actually pretty good, but right now, we're dead. There's nothing we can really do. They block the 1-1 and we die from the Blood Artist. And it's like we could not swing in, but then we're dead on their turn from pretty much anything. Like there wasn't a great way around that at all, so hop into the next game, huh? All right, we go first again. Oh my. This is all right. This is keepable. I like it. Having Play with Fire open on turn 1 and then just beautiful goblin creatures on turn 2. I'm totally down. For Fiend's Tower, I will go ahead and hit their face. Ooh. Keep the Battle Cry Goblin. Multiple Battle Cry Goblins is sweet. So we go Battle Cry Goblin here. That way, I want to try out the Goblin Morale Sergeant with the Goblin next turn. Nope, not gonna stick on the board, unfortunately. I guess we'll go Battle Cry Goblin number 2 and hope that there's not more removal for it. Oracle, okay. Well, this is going to be a problem. The Power 9 is now shuffled into their library. Let's go ahead and Play with Fire their face again. See what's on top. Yep, I'm keeping that on top. No questions asked. So Goblin Morale Sergeant's fine and dandy, but like they're tapped out, so getting the Influx array down is way more important. Yeah, Goblin War Chief, okay. Alright, now it's a race against time though. At any moment, they could start to seriously pop off. Key to the Archive, at least it comes out tapped, but yeah, this is going to be a problem. This is definitely going to be a problem. I wonder what we could see on top that would be terrific. Like, what could we do to get around all of this? Because unfortunately, right now, Oracle's a pretty terrific blocker. They swing here, though. Oh, ooh, they go for the Scry. They think they're safe. They're at 16. What could we draw that would just be absolutely devastating? Squee's pretty good. Squee's pretty decent. I guess we'll go for all of it, huh? I guess we'll go for all of it. Let's do this. If we had 1 more mana, we'd be able to buff everything with Battle Cry Goblin too. Okay, down to 6. It's too bad we didn't have that one more mana, huh? Because we have 6 goblins on the board right now. That would have been insane, dude. Alright, here comes the board wipe, I guess, huh? It was worth it. This was pretty fun, slamming down all those goblins. That was pretty fun. Day of Judgment. Yeah, that's what they hit off the archive. Now, wait a minute. They still... Okay, there's the second Oracle. Ooh, that's bad. More power 9. They're still only at 6, though, guys. Like, this might still be okay. Coalition Construct. Man, that would have been sweet with all those goblins on the board. We could also just draw. Let's draw. Let's see what we hit here. I'm curious. Goblin Trapfinder. Nice. That works out nicely. We get some extra goblins down. We have that open now. I don't know, man. The opponent's gonna have to have some pretty sweet draws here. Like, we got some serious damage in. We're getting a goblin every turn from Influx Array. It was pretty lucky that they got the Day of Judgment from the Key of the Archive, honestly. Getting this scry every turn, though. I mean, the swing just tells us that they are protected by whatever's in their hand here, so... That definitely tells us that. Time Walk. Yep, that makes sense. Man, what a draw. Although I guess 2 of them... Oh, depopulate? You monster. Alright, we're gonna hit the opponent's face here. So we do get a Seek too, so... Ooh! Goblin Morale Sergeant. Guys, the opponents are, like... You need to draw something sweet. Huh? What? 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 What just happened? Oh my goodness. Oh no. My gasp, guys. I was barely able to function properly. My first time playing against Time Twister. That was insane, dude. Alright, let's get that mountain down. What do we even start with? Like, I don't even know. I'm assuming there's a counter spell. We don't have a great hand now. Like, they actually gave us a worse hand here. I'm gonna start with Kumano. That's a damage. Play with Fire is 2 damage, so, like... I can only imagine they drew counter spells. Man, it was looking great, wasn't it? It's still kind of looking good, though. They're down to 3. Like, this cost 0, and it has haste. So let's get Ringleader down. Unfortunately, like, the whole perpetually gains haste thing isn't going to be that great. Teferi's Contingency. Counter target spell. Each card in its controller's graveyard, hand, and library with the same name. Ooh, okay. Okay, well, we have Play with Fire and Squee here trying to wrap up the game. Let's go Play with Fire to the opponent's face, as we'd rather Squee hit the board for 3 damage total. So they need a counterspell for Play with Fire. We'll keep Battle Cry Goblin on top and see if the Squee can hit the board here. They dropped the good game. They got the Make Disappear. That's not good. That's not good, guys. Because if they get to untap, they might have more nonsense like this. Goblin Influx gives us a Goblin Arsonist. Nice. Discover the formula. They have 2 mana open now. That was expensive, but each card costs 1 less. It was a tapped land, though. Mox Pearl. Oh no, guys. This is insane. This is insane. The counter for the Squee, though, that was pretty crazy. I guess Battle Cry Goblins are best bet, but they still have 3 mana open. Like, I'm trying to think of what they could do that would prevent us from getting that last bit of damage through. And they need a lot here. Go for Witness the Future for a card draw, but then they only have 1 mana open. Maybe it's going to be more stuff like the Mox Pearl. They go for a Time Walk. Oh, it was a Pain Land. Oh, what a great way to concede. GG opponent. That was crazy. We were able to get a lot of damage through early on there, and there was actually probably a lot of ways that we could have just won sooner. I mean, not like in this particular game. I mean, if we would have drawn a little bit differently or saw different cards from Goblin Influx array, for example. So, guys, look at this win rate so far. 70% total win rate. I think that's 10 games so far. Pretty good. I like it. Let's keep going, shall we? Okay, the opponent goes first here. This is a great hand, though. We're definitely keeping this. Deathcap Glade. Okay, let's start with Kumano over the Trapfinder this time round. Okay, they're going to keep both open. Most likely just some simple removal, so let's go for Trapfinder and keep the Play with Fire open. Yeah, removal, see, like a cut down, that would have hit the, oh, I guess Battle Cry Goblin would have been a 3/3 actually. This is fine though, because Trapfinder has that Seek ability. Nice, a Hordemaster, my goodness. Still gonna keep that Play with Fire open. They're probably just gonna pass it right back to us. Oracle, oh no guys, not this nonsense again. Let's see what's on top of our deck here. An Enthusiasm, perfect. That is perfect. Okay, that draw was weird. Did that, like, happen really fast, or am I crazy? Okay. So, actually, Traumatic Prank would be pretty good, too, but they get that Scry every turn. Yeah, getting that Scry every turn's not the greatest, huh? So, Hordemaster, let's get Hordemaster down first, and then go Enthusiasm, so that way our next card gets the Enthusiasms +1. Hordemaster's going to exile the top card of our library. Another Hordemaster, nice! Oh man, that is sweet. That's pretty lucky, guys. I like it. Although next turn we do have Battle Cry Goblin. With 4 mana, we could give it haste if we wanted to, but it won't be enough to get that extra 1/1, so I'm going to try Hordemaster. Before the swing? No. No, let's swing first. It doesn't do anything with Kumano. It's just kind of a habit. Try the Hordemaster. It is a 2/1, and it is on the board, and do we play around a board wipe? It's fine. It's fine. If the opponent wants to wipe the board, then they can wipe the board, and they can be happy about it. Opponent, I was just kidding! How dare you! No! Dude, what even is this? Okay, got a Mountain and a Squee. Do this. Swing in. Squee's a great draw, guys. We're getting sweet draws. Malicious Malfunction. 3 mana. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Well then. If a creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Wow, that's something else, actually. We don't see that in Standard. It is Neon Dynasty, though, so we're just waiting for them to drop another creature so we can get that Traumatic Prank down. Does this look like the kind of deck that runs Leer? Probably, since Oracle's here, right? I have no idea, honestly. I don't play enough Alchemy. Aw. Removal. That's not fun. Ooh, Morale Sergeant. I guess bringing back Squee is better than Morale Sergeant, though, huh? Love the traumatic prank. Like, we're still putting on so much pressure that the opponent's gonna have to draw terrific. Like, if it's something like, I don't know, like a Titan of Industry, then the traumatic prank is truly traumatic. Ancestral Recall. Well then, I guess that's that, huh? Here comes the second board wipe. Dude, draw 3 cards for 1 mana. Oh my goodness. It's no wonder everyone's running Oracle decks. That's insane, dude. Ooh, they drop another mana. Maybe they only drew mana. I can only expect more removal and more board wipes, though, as that's what this looks like. It looks like Sultai mid-range. March of the Wretched Sorrow on the Squee. That's not enough to do it. It does gain them some. Oh, Traumatic Prank should be able to get us there unless they can gain. No, they're tapped out. Yep, that's that. That's that. Let's go, guys. Let's go. 72% total deck win rate so far. Oh, man. All right, let's keep going. All right, we go first here, and this is a fine hand. We have all 4 mana for our Goblin Influx array here, so that's good. All right, let's do this. Goblin Influx array, it kind of feels like this card is just gonna carry. I feel like it's just gonna carry us through a lot of games. Forsaken Crossroads on blue. This must be another Oracle deck. It must be, guys. Oracle seems to be everywhere. A couple Goblin Morale Sergeants never hurt anything, though, so... Forsaken Crossroads on black. Nice. They get it untapped here since they went second. We're definitely going to attempt the second Morale Sergeant because it is extra damage, and now we're flooding a little bit, but I'm not too concerned. At some point we'll stop drawing land. Could always... Okay, they're gonna bounce that back to our hand, right? Oh, no, it taps it. It taps it down. Okay. Got it swing. Yeah, you gotta tap a non-attacking creature, so... Okay, Sunset Revelry, nice. Alright, since they can't counter this, the best bet is to get that Goblin Influx array down now. And we could conjure, but that's such an easy block for the opponent that we're gonna wait, because we might be able to buff both of these. Nice, Brash Taunter is pretty cool. We're just going up against some more control as far as I can tell. Choice of Fortune, seek 2 cards. Yeah, we're gonna need something faster, I'd say. Brash Taunter will be able to eat through these humans, which is pretty cool. Let's get it down, because they can't counter it, because they played a sorcery. Get Kumano down. Yeah, the swings here are pretty bad, but holding back against a deck that's probably going to wipe the board soon might not be the best bet. Whereas sending extra Morale Sergeants onto the top of the library seems pretty good. Nah. Let's hold back for now. Because again, we could get something that buffs off of the Influx array. We could find like a Rundvelt on top of our deck, for example. I think it's fine to hold back one more turn. The blocks are just too good for them right now. They go Memory Deluge on their turn. What are they searching for, guys? They played a mana this turn already, right? So... Crucible of Defiance. Wow, that's actually pretty bad, isn't it? Alright, here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, because we have so much mana. Well, I mean, it's not that bad. We can always generate those 1/1s. Not this turn, though, that's for sure. I think the Ringleader's fine to put the extra on from the enthusiasm. It's extra damage here, so we'll go ahead and do this, right? Get that extra damage to their face, get Ringleader down, which is going to be pretty buff, I guess, because it's getting the buff from Kumano, too. Pretty cool. Oh, no, I don't think I wanted to enlist anything here. Well, maybe Ringleader. Yeah, the Ringleader would have been cool to enlist, I guess. Maybe. No, I guess just another Morale Sergeant. Any Goblins off the top overland. Yeah, something to think about there, guys. I kind of just swung instead of doing anything else. I can only expect a board wipe, but if it's going to be a board wipe that says destroy, the Brash Taunter stays on the board because it's indestructible. Another Revelry. They gain a bunch there, but oh, now I'm going to like that extra mana, huh? Battle Cry Goblin on top. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Let's do this. Battle Cry Goblin. Is it gonna hit? I guess they could have a counter here, huh? Relic Robber. Oh, you know what would have been better? Probably just giving this haste swinging and then gonna Fateful Absence the Ringleader over the Battle Cry Goblin. I guess the Ringleader is pretty buff, but buffing this whole wide board state here. Oh. There we go. I forgot about Crucible. Buff again. Nice. Yeah, the Fateful Absence probably should have hit the Battle Cry Goblin, but maybe we still had a strong enough swing there to get the damage through. -4? No, probably not. I think we needed the buff from the Battle Cry Goblin there. So, nice. I mean, no board wipe from the opponent, so we got a little lucky there, but then we still would have had the Brash Taunter, so they needed some kind of exile board wipe, so maybe like a Farewell. Did they have that much mana last turn? Was all 6 of this untapped? Not really sure. 75. Alright, the opponent goes first here, but this is a pretty solid hand. I'm definitely keeping this one. Ooh, okay, let's double down on turn 2 with a couple Kumanos, and then turn 3 Rundvelt. They keep an island open. Oh, second island. Oh man, I really wish we would have went first now, but let's see if Kumano hits. I'm gonna do this before the swing too. I don't know why my brain wants to do that. Okay, now we can swing. And then get the second Kumano down. Now, Hordemaster is looking pretty sick. We'll have an extra mana, but yeah, it's fine. Well, we could go Coalition Construct instead. Ooh, Battle Cry Goblin. What do I want to get countered here is the question. Fortunately, whatever we play is probably going to get countered. I guess the Construct. If the Construct hits the board, it's pretty strong. It gives 3 different goblins perpetual +1/+1. Syncopate for 1. Oh man. Oh, they had Syncopate for 2 though. So anything would have eaten a counter there, so that's good news. Well, it's not good news, but you guys know what I mean. Some simple mono blue, huh? Okay. Well, Crucible's going to be a land this game. Battle Cry Goblin number 1. Does it hit the board? It doesn't look like it. Battle Cry Goblin number 2 might hit the board, but at that point we might just want to go Hordemaster this turn. Okay, Battle Cry Goblin number 1 hits. Let's go for the buff and see which one they bounce back to hand, as that's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's why they ended up letting that hit the board. See what they end up bouncing back here. It probably... Ooh! Ooh! They're gonna draw off of Thirst for Discovery then. Yep, makes sense. Gonna say, if they kept all that mana open, then I hope it's for a reason. In other words, this board state's looking pretty sweet, man. Mono Blue doesn't necessarily have a board wipe, so they need a lot of like different little pieces of removal. March of the Swirling Mist does exist though, so they can take us out of combat. They discard 2 other Thirst for Discoveries. A Consider, okay, I'm expecting them to get some blockers down next turn, but the second Battle Cry Goblin is probably going to help us go wide enough to get around these blockers. Extra Mountain, nice, I'll take it. Let's get that second Battle Cry Goblin on the board and see if it actually lands. If it doesn't, the Hordemaster is pretty good. Alright, we want to give this haste. And swing. Couple extra 1/1s. Let them block wherever they want to and see what the Fading Hope hits, I guess? Nope, nothing. Wow. That's crazy, guys. Holy cow. Well, I'd say ending... Oh, hey, we ranked up. Let's go, guys. Alrighty, guys. Here's the deck list again, and this was a ton of fun, wasn't it? Oh man, it felt so good to play with Battle Cry Goblin again. It's such a fun card, and it feels pretty balanced too, doesn't it? Well, it feels pretty broken sometimes, but it's also just like a balanced creature that happens to be pretty powerful too. So, man, this was... I don't think I would change anything, guys. It was so powerful, or at least it felt really powerful. Maybe as you climb the ranks, it might get worse, but overall, I could see climbing with this deck pretty easily, actually. Like, we were just completely destroying in some of those matches, whereas when we play in, like, Standard, every single battle is an uphill battle. And over here, we got access to Goblins, guys, and Goblin Influx Array was really good, wasn't it? If you have 4 of them, then I would go up to 4. I mean, yeah, seeing multiple copies would be pretty sweet, honestly, so, but 3 also works pretty well, so maybe you don't want to upset the balance of the deck overall. Coalition Construct, I wish we would have seen it do a little bit more today, but overall, it's a pretty sweet card, and when we did see it, it did a thing here and there. It's also, like, look how adorable that artwork is. I love this. Such a neat one. Traumatic Prank was sweet. Squee was, of course, amazing. Trapfinder was really good, wasn't it? Kumano did a thing sometimes. Enthusiasm got some play today. Everything saw play today, huh? We almost played Crucible, but we ended up playing it as a land. Yeah, I hope you guys don't mind that I'm editing this video. The time between matches in Alchemy is a lot longer than in Standard. So I do have to edit it down, and so I ended up playing some extra games too, just to kind of pick and choose the best ones to show you guys. But overall, most of them were victories, and I don't even know. I mean, I'll try to showcase some of the losses, but did we only lose 1? I don't even know. Most of the losses were in my test matches, so yeah, I'll have to go back and see which ones were the best matches to showcase here. Either way, yeah, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.